Doing scary shit today. Got my feet. They're out for free. Howdy gamers. If you're here looking for Kingdom Hearts stuff, no worries, it'll be back eventually. But we're gonna talk about stuff I like, and that is horror. Scary things that go bump in the night. That sleep paralysis demon named Steve that's sitting next to you right now while you're watching this at night. You're watching this at night, right? I am. What are you? I am. That being said, we wear the scary glasses here with the terrible glare for the scary videos. If there's one thing you need to know about me is I love Kingdom Hearts and I love horror stuff. Especially, I am a fan of digital horror and analog horror. I was there when Marble Hornets and Everyman Hybrid was at its peak. I love the Backrooms by Kane Pixels. As much as that's overblown right now, I love the Backrooms. There was a game called Pools that came out recently on Steam. Fantastic. I love liminality, the surreal horror, just the strangeness of things that just don't make sense, or that should make sense, or are meant to be normal, but they subvert your expectations. That's why I love liminal stuff. That's why I love the Backrooms. That's why I love analog horror. Instead of dissecting a billion analog horror channels that everyone has already covered, we're gonna talk about something. We're gonna talk about something that I love, which is Instagram accounts that do horror in a new way. As I've talked about on my horror conspiracy podcast / comedy podcast I do with my buddy Greg. Go check it out, please. We just started doing video episodes and I'm very proud of them. We talk about the horrors of AI and how that can be... This glare is terrible. I'll put them back on when we watch stuff. AI can help us in a lot of ways, but it can also be scary. What we're going to cover today, I think, is a good use of how to implement AI, at least image generation or video generation. And I think these horror, like short form videos from Instagram and TikTok do it right. But we'll talk about it more when we get into it, and I will explain what I mean by using AI in the right way. And I think it works really well for horror. But instead of covering YouTube channels like everyone else does, and I don't really have anything else to add to that conversation. So we're gonna cover two Instagram accounts that I have followed for a while, and they are brilliant when it comes to just making weird, creepy videos that I actually get engaged with. We'll cover a few of their popular videos and posts, and I'll leave the rest for y'all to go explore. So if you're into like weird VHS style short form creepy content while also trying to dissect maybe there's something bigger going on here, stick around, putting on the scary glasses because it's a scary video night. The first one we're going to check out is called Lanet Places. Now, there's a lot of these kind of Instagrams out there that are trying to be some government agency that is, I don't know, sending like emergency broadcasts like Local 58. You know the drill. But this one is cool because they use AI video generation as well as mixing their own art with it. And I think that's great. So as you can see, there's a lot of weird ones, but we're going to check out a couple of their popular ones. So this one's called Little Guys. Just a little guy. Just a little guy.
Little guys. These little guys have been spotted leaking through homes in Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Oh my god, they're so cute. Oklahoma? For the little guys creeping down the hall.
Very scary.
Using the cover of night, little guys are known to break into residences with the sole intent of rearranging the belongings of the occupant.
They look like the little cookie spirits. The spirits from Princess Mononoke. Nick, put it on screen. Did I put it on screen? I hope so.
Oops. Upon completion of their midnight mission, little guys retreat into walls, floorboards, and ventilation systems to rest and wait for residents to wake. It is thought that little guys gain sustenance from the confusion of humans. As occupants become increasingly baffled by the misplacement of their property, little guys become energized and prepare to target another household. Once fully rested, they promptly relocate and the mischievous cycle is continued. Little guys are notoriously difficult to spot and even harder to capture on Quaint. See here stopped in their track.
Whoa, what is that? What is Quaint? It's even in the description. So I think now there might be an overarching story.
Little guys will almost always freeze if they sense detection. This behavior is thought to be a poorly developed defense mechanism. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Oh, latent places. So I can see why it's their most popular. This one's cute, and they're mischievous, and they're hard to capture, but I don't know exactly what quaint is. Maybe we'll watch a couple more, see what happens. This one is the one that got me initially. It's really cool, and it's like we'll just watch it and then we'll kind of dissect what's going on here.
Spinal antennae. The appearance of these tall spine-like formations have been reported in Providence Harbor, Rhode Island. At first believed to be uniquely shaped coral colonies, ministry researchers have confirmed that the strange columns are in fact composed of osseous tissue. Bone marrow samples indicate the structures contain mammalian DNA and are living organisms. Oddly, ship operators have reported communication and navigation malfunctions when in the vicinity of the growths. The columns appear to be emitting high-powered VHF radio signals between 100 to 200 megahertz. Ministry cryptographers are working to decode the transmissions. Researchers plan on conducting a subsea seismic survey in the area in order to further understand the origin, purpose, and energy source of the apparent antennae. In the meantime, vessels traveling through the harbor are encouraged to maintain a wide berth from the structures and to report the appearance of any new formations. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Luckily, they have the whole transcript in the description, so those who can't hear can still know what's going on. And they have subtitles, like, damn, man. Okay, it says Ministry of Latent Places. I live in Texas, and I know we don't use, like, ministry as, like, house in the government. I didn't know for the longest time what ministry actually meant. In terms of, like, I thought it was literally like a church ministry, because I grew up in the church, not anymore. That's what ministries meant, was like different types of religious organizations, which is crazy. It sounds fancier. This one's cool. And I think if they're using an acronym for quaint in the last one, there has to be something going on here. They haven't been going too long. Oh, Spires? Blood Factory. God damn. Let's do that one.
Blood Factory, a complex system of pipes and machinery being used to transport and refine human blood, has been discovered under a major U.S. metropolitan area.
See, it's like this that gets me hard.
The city will remain undisclosed as the investigation is ongoing. Initial analyses indicate that the industrial-grade mechanisms are operating autonomously and without supervision. It is thought that the system has either been constructed to run without interference or that the operators have vacated the premises. Investigators are currently mapping the vastly complicated facility in an attempt to uncover more information about its functionality and purpose. The process is expected to take several years. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
The artistry behind this, it just makes you ask a bunch of questions like, are these all connected? What do these places have to do? They're latent places. So I'm assuming latent has something to do with like surreal or otherworldly places, and it kind of all plays off of that, like that SCP type of culture, you know? Anything in that sphere, it gives me a good lick. It makes me feel things, makes me feel good, makes me feel happy. Like it tickles that curiosity itch. Like that's why I love researching dumb conspiracy theories. Not that I subscribe to any of them or actually believe in any of that shit. Asking questions and learning more about that stuff is super fun. What else we got? War Eaters? Veg heads, spontaneous growth, transspatial floods, urban wormholes, floaters, flesh collectors, corporate jungle, arsonistas. Oh, just ladies that burned the house. Is this underwater? We're doing underwater.
Aqua wraiths.
No. Two big fears of mine. One, the ocean. I would rather be burned alive than be stranded in the ocean. You don't know what's down there. Thalassophobia runs hard in my soul. I'm not built for water.
These haunting entities have been spotted near village of Four Seasons in Camden County, Missouri, dwelling within the murky waters of Lake of the Ozarks.
Like, this shit looks so good. It looks real. It's terrifying. put it inside me.
Not much is known about the ghostly creatures, but they appear to travel in small pods of 2 or 3 and tend to congregate near the lake bed in low visibility areas. It is thought they do this specifically to avoid human detection. The forlorn howling of aqua wraiths could carry for miles in and out of the water. Local residents and visitors report a particular abundance of aqua wraith cries on certain moonless nights. Police reports confirm an uptick in missing person reports in the days following these dates. Ministry researchers suspect aqua wraiths to be either undead or phantasmal type beings who use their hypnotic wailing to draw humans lakeside. What is then done with the victims and their bodies is currently being investigated. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Labor.
You never hear the word phantasmal anymore, except for phasmophobia, but like, they are phantasmal beings. What a word, man. This reminds me of that one movie that came out a few years ago called Deep House. It was a horror movie about this house that was at the bottom of this lake in the middle of the woods. The movie wasn't super great. The ending kind of falls flat in the last act. The concept of a perfectly preserved underwater haunted house. They say you like looking into like stuff you're afraid of, and the ocean is a big one. Like, I love underwater horror movies because I'm never gonna actually go in the ocean. So that was Latent Places. Now we're gonna look at another one, which is the Archive Between. Video reels on their Instagram of similar type stuff where they have artwork made by artists as well as AI generated art mixed together. And I think that is cool because they can like build this framework for like these crazy fantasies. But some of these are actual stories that you read that are just posts. We're gonna read one that I read. This is the most recent one. What actually gave me the idea to make this video. It's so like American and just good. I'll give it my best. Here we go. Hell opened up on Wednesday morning just outside Dayton, Ohio. It was a real horror show when the portal first unfurled. Demons, devils, spilled forth hordes, raging the lands and wreaking havoc on its people. Their maddening cackles could be heard for miles as they carved their way through the countryside, impaling innocent men, women, and children with their barbed, trident, and rusty lances. Like, look how f***ed up these things are. Oh, you can tell that this one's more AI because of the words and stuff. And then they put like a real tree and stuff. Like, you can tell this one's AI for sure. I know like some people have a lot of reserves around using AI art like this, but if you can do that and then write compelling stories like this, I think, but you can still get art to tell your story, which I think is a really cool concept for people that don't have those type of talents. Like, I couldn't write a story to save my life. Like, I could contribute and come up with ideas, but like actually writing a narrative, no way. That's why I don't script any of this shit. Let's keep going. Folks around these parts ain't pushovers. Didn't take long for those of us armed with all that Second Amendment allows us to fight back, no matter how futile we believed it to be. After all, how much harm could our earthly bullets really inflict against the unholy hordes of the flaming beasts? Quite a bit, it turns out. Seems that the demons were as surprised as we were when they started to fall. Their scaly skin and corroded plate armor were no match for good old American lead. Goddamn right. Bewildered by the effectiveness of the resistance, they turned tail and tried to flee, but they didn't make it far before the Ohio National Guard swooped in and cut off their escape through the portal. By the end of the day, we were hunting the ones that had fled into the woods for sport. Their cackles turned to cries as they pleaded with us on their foul tongues, but none were spared. Oh God, these people look. But like Doom in real life, I'm not one for owning a gun, but if this happened, I'd be out there ripping and tearing. All in all, it was crushing loss for the Hellspawn. Though they had claimed nearly 500 innocent lives, they had lost almost 10,000 of their own kind. I think I'm gonna change the voice. It's kind of hurting. Within a week, the military had built an entire city around the still yawning rift into the Inferno. Ooh, yawning. That's a spicy good word. Though more hordes of demons had attempted to make their way through, perhaps to rescue or reinforce the first wave, they were cut down with prejudice by the awaiting armored battalions. Not a one made it more than 10 feet past the fiery threshold. It's kind of like that, the Hell's Hole in that one part of the world that's always on fire. Not the Silent Hill town that's not actually what Silent Hill is based on. Shortly thereafter, a team of SEALs, armed to the teeth, entered the portal and returned successfully. They spoke of a nightmare world beyond, populated by uncountable number of vicious monsters, all eagerly awaiting their turn to invade the Earth. What's more, they managed to stop a set of infernal sorcerers, intent on opening more gateways into our world. Clearly, this first portal was just the beginning of something greater. A preemptive strike was necessary to ensure that no travesty would ever occur. The invasion was swift and the battle short. Though the demons were great in number, their archaic technology was no match for our machine, atomics, and modern strategy. The infernal plane was subjugated in less than a month. It had the great swarms of demons abandon their homes and fled into the realms unknown, unable to stand against mankind's military might. Forget oil, we got Satan power, baby. Hello, Illuminati. I know you're watching. Where's my invitation? Within a year, the first commercial Hades harvesters were up and running. Enormous power plants siphoning hell's endless geothermal energy back to our world. A sudden influx of infinite clean energy transformed our world overnight as a new golden age of humanity dawned. Now, less than 5 years after the fact, we're sitting pretty in our shining towers, enjoying the spoils of war we never imagined we'd fight, let alone win. Things clearly couldn't be better. Yet, despite the peace and prosperity, many fear a return of the vanquished demons, and whispers that should they ever come back with technology of their own, there will certainly be hell to pay. There we go. And yeah, they actually do make ebook versions of this. Hey, the archive in between, if you ever watch this, make a hardback or make a physical version. I would buy that in a heartbeat with these, like all this artwork and stories. Whew, I would love to have this as a physical media, but I know that can be pricey. So in time, maybe that'll be something in the future. I wanted to at least read that one story because it was very funny. Because it's kind of really different than a lot of their other stuff. They also have a few other videos, but I'm not going to play too much because I want you to go check them out yourself. Maybe one day I'll analyze a show or a analog horror thing, digital horror ARG in the future, but I'm a dad and I got to play a lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff. So I don't have the time to sit down and analyze analog horror. That's why I watch Nightmind. Duh, that's what he's for. Always go follow these people, check out more of their stuff. If you can figure out the connecting narrative between all this, let me know because I don't want to do it myself. Love you. If the boys of the KH community want to follow me, I'll give y'all a follow because I've watched y'all for years. No pressure, but I will defeat you. I am coming for you, and the darkness is coming.